question that sticks out to you? Any difficult interview questions that you know now better how to answer than you did then?
That's probably the one that kind of stumps more people.
Yeah.
The right way to answer that is just like, I think it was Brad, you were the one who said it, just be yourself, be honest.
Think of it this way, a greatest weakness is an overdone strength, so whatever you're good at is probably your weaknesses. So I'm very detail-oriented, so it takes me a long time to get things done. So.
But there are certain jobs where you have to be detailed.
Correct.
So.
There's, the biggest challenging questions for me were, I'd rather have a conversation with somebody than tell me about a time when you were, you know, in a bad situation, and what if you weren't in one of those situations? It's not acceptable to say, I don't have an answer because I wasn't in that situation. So in cases like that, the best thing to do is research these canned questions that you're potentially going to run into and try to think of some kind of story and make sure you give that story to every company you interview with, whether it's true or fabricated or whatever, because there's a chance you're going to run into that. But as far as the being yourself and that kind of criteria, any interview I went into where I got canned questions, I knew right away that it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah,
So
I would certainly have enough examples in terms of the kind of normal questions that you will get in terms of leadership. You know, tell me how you moved the group, tell me the time you had to solve a problem with limited resources, interpersonal, so the situation that, you know, maybe you haven't run into a direct, tell me about a time you had a disagreement with someone that you then had to maintain a productive relationship with. How do you go about doing the two? Tell me, you know, how do you get someone to respond and perform when they don't want to or haven't, and that, you know, those kind of things, which in terms of the good thing is in the curriculum that you're in and where the college has evolved, there are so many group homeworks and group projects and group labs and all that you always have. At this point, I think there's so many of those in terms of, you know, you have that one person on the team who doesn't make the deadline, doesn't get what they need. What's the reaction to it? Are you, probably the least favorable, not least, but one of the unfavorable responses is oh, I just did it for them. It's usually not a way to go. So that's, but those are the kind of things where at least make sure for the general type of questions you got 2, 3 deep, things in your mind in terms of how to answer them. But the weird one is sometimes you have to think on your feet a little bit in terms of how do you spin it into how do you take that negative into a positive or at least a neutral in terms of it takes me long to do something, I'm very detail oriented, and therefore, you could spin that too, and therefore I've developed techniques to know how much is enough and what's good enough to move on, and then stop myself before I get too deep in the hole, right, and move on, right?
Next question.